What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday morning. Not much happened on the project yesterday, which was Tuesday, minus we got some drive shafts out. We were just way too busy. I think we did 7 vehicles here yesterday, plus get an awning on the event trailer, plus I worked on the mini truck. Yeah, it was a busy day yesterday, so literally all we got done was we got the drive shafts out on the floor because this stuff showed up yesterday. Stuff is starting to show up. Steering wheel's here, quick release, the harnesses for the seats, and this awesome radiator and overflow tank. The radiator is from a Ford Bronco 2. And kind of the reasons I chose it was the dimensions work out great. And then also, the lower hose there is at an angle because when we mount this, the radiator is not going to be straight up. It's going to be leaned back, or leaned forward, I should say. And so that works out perfectly. We will have to swap the fans from one side to the other because we will make them puller fans, not pusher fans, because those work better. And the reason why we took the drive shafts out was, of course, the FJ case is here, but Trail Gear, who said 5 to 6 weeks lead time, this thing showed up in roughly a week and a half. So that's gonna go in today. Get the transfer case done. Really excited about this thing. This is gonna be awesome. But I have to do apex work first. So this little cool Toyota, I can't remember what it's called right now. What is this thing called? A Town Ace. This little Town Ace, we made a hitch for so we can carry some bikes. This is what I worked on most of the day yesterday. Look at that sucker. It came out really well. Let's get it on. Alright, so off camera I've done all the boring stuff, like drain the oil out of it, make sure everything was disconnected, taking the bolts out of the bottom. I went ahead and rolled this red cart. I have transmission jacks, but I don't feel like working above my head today, plus all the bolts are up on the top. So rolled the red cart underneath. It should catch it. Let's take these bolts out. So with all the bolts out, it's already started to separate. Let's see if we can just yank it out. Well, that was easy. I just barely tugged it and out it came. One full-time 4-wheel drive Lexus GX 470 or 4th gen 4Runner with a V8 transfer case for sale. So one thing I noticed is these stayed in the transmission. They need to come out because Trail Gear provides solid ones. Best way I've found getting them out, a pair of actual good vice grips, and just clamp onto it and twist. And it comes out. So the Trail Gear instructions want you to weld these little guys and use a bolt grip puller to take this shaft right here off, because you replace it with a big longer one. Don't feel like welding, and I also have the tools to fix it. So I've got my, pretty much it's a race puller, bolt puller, whatever you want, bearing puller. I've got it set up. Let's pull this thing off. Ta-da! So that's off. This is the kit I've got. I've had this thing for a few years. It is a lifesaver. I think I got it on like Amazon or something somewhere. I'm not even sure exactly what to search for besides search like race puller or something like that. This thing's so useful. Pull anything up. It's got little 90 degrees, a bunch of different sizes, extensions, big and little. Bottom hole here. My bolt came from that way. It's not threaded on either one. It's an FJ case. I guess they're different, but it's okay. Because we have a massive bolt bin to choose from. It's now lunchtime and UPS just dropped off the fuel cell. So my plan with this is, where the fuel sender right here for the gauges, it comes with one. Don't need that, so we're gonna cut a hole in it, make an adapter plate so we can mount the factory whole fuel sender pump assembly on it. So the gauge will work still on the dash, the pump and all that. And then for these, obviously rollover vent, that'll get made as a rollover vent, but these two will make for the evap system, except the fuel pickup, it's got a tube that goes all the way to the bottom. I'm just gonna cut the tube off in there, and so it'll be two vents for the evap system. All right, next set of instructions say remove the seal from the back of the transmission. Man, let me go get my actual puller for this. Now we got the actual puller in. She's off. All right, now it says install this coupler adapter. Boom. And then a seal adapter. It says hit it with a rubber mallet. Guess that's simple enough. Cool. All right, so we're just looking it over. Not sure if it's the right thing to do, but it's what I'm gonna do. There was a hole right here in the transfer case, And I know in the older Toyota transfer cases, which this is based off of, this little like drainage weep pass-through hole is for the transmission and transfer case. They kind of halfway share the same oil. The newer Toyota doesn't do that. So I just put some gray RTV in it and a piece of Gorilla Tape over it just to act as a plug. And I'll show you why. Let's walk over to the truck. So imagine that is the front of the truck. Your hole's in the bottom. It would just be draining into the bell housing, or the rear, it's not the bell housing, the rear section of the transmission here, and just filling up with gear oil. So you would have to add extra oil in it, because if you filled it up and you waited 10 minutes, most of the oil would drain into here. And then this also does not get a seal, so the oil just drains down. Not sure on that. So obviously that's not ideal if your oil's draining out. So that's how I fixed it with the RTV and the Gorilla Tape over there. And then another thing I've done is this adapter plate here. As I was just sitting here, transmission fluid was weeping out slowly. I know this is at the right level, but another thing I don't want to happen is transmission fluid leaking out of here, and I run out of transmission fluid. So I have just taken my finger and ran a bead of RTV all the way around this little adapter. It is not easily to turn at all, so I'm guessing that's not supposed to turn, especially since it has a seal here. We'll just lube this seal up really good, or the shaft, so they don't try turning against each other and breaking our RTV seal. Just little things like that. That's what you have to do. You can't get upset with it when it comes to putting aftermarket stuff on to multiple generations of trucks. Sometimes stuff just doesn't line up or just doesn't make sense, and you kind of have to think your way through it. So here we go. Let's put this bad Mamma Jam in. Lifted it up, got the bottom bolts in for it. Everything is awesome. Centered. Got a ratchet strap on it now just to support it a little bit, because it's just coming off the factory transmission mount here. So what I've done is, I'm pretty confident it's like an 88, 85 roughly Toyota. So I just ordered one from O'Reilly's. We'll make a little crossmember that comes up just to support that. And then the rear of the transfer case here has these two bolts. I'm going to start working on a lower crossmember that pretty much mimics this. And we'll mount it behind the transfer case here. It'll sit just slightly lower. We can come up off of it into those two bolts with the bushing. So we'll have a rear member. And then once my new cross member that I make, that's gonna sit back here roughly where the lift arm is. Once it's up and on, then we can flat belly this thing when the time comes, and I guess semi boat side it too as well, so we'll be fully slick on the bottom and protect everything. Let me drop it down and show you the top. Here's what the top side looks like. So I had to do a little shifter modification because they were running into each other, but here you go. So we're over in 4 low right now. So that's 2 high, 4 high, neutral, 4 low on the FJ case. This is high, neutral, low. There you go. So the closest they've ever get me is when this is in 1-to-1 and this is in factory 4 low. So there you go. Now it is time to start making some floor. All right, end of day today. Took some rough measurements and then honestly decided it's way too hot. So kind of done working. It's like 4:30. I'm gonna pack it up. Did a little work on the GMC, got the trailer plug fixed up on it, so we have a good 12-volt source for a winch. But set the seats in place, so let me show you, and I'll leave you guys with how I'm thinking I'm gonna put all the shifters. Well, I know how the regular transfer case and the other shifter is, as far as the park to first gear shifter. Thinking something roughly like that. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but there's plenty of room to get your hands in around. So just something like that I can easily grab, but it's awesome. They're not as far back as I thought they would be because it's got the little hook on the factory shifter. But that is it. Leave you guys with that. See you next time. Oh, another thing. If you guys can, please like, subscribe, comment, share this video. Anything helps. We've been getting about 5 new subscribers a day, which is awesome. And then people are liking the videos, but just share this to all your groups, your buddies, anything you can helps. I appreciate it. Thanks again. See ya.